Former homeless people, what can we do to make your day better when we see you on the street? Serious. My family was homeless for a few months when I was a teen. We didn't panhandle and hid our homelessness pretty successfully from most people. We were staying at a fairly unpleasant shelter, but it beat the heck out of the streets, especially that winter. When I was homeless, the last thing I wanted was to be treated as a charity case, even though, obviously, I was one to a certain extent, but I wanted to just have people act normal around me. I didn't want to be pitied. Biggest problems I had were a safe place to store my things, and lack of decent clothing. Hunger was an issue sometimes. I just would have loved to have fresh fruit or a donut that wasn't an unsold, slightly stale donation. Pretty much anything that wasn't PB&J or ramen. I pick up old military duffel bags and new padlocks when I can and give them to homeless people who are lugging stuff around in trash bags so that they have a durable, lockable, mostly waterproof bag to keep their stuff in. The advantage here is that a military sea bag duffel isn't valuable or expensive looking, so it's not very likely to be sold for drugs or stolen. I will, if they seem sane and not dangerous, buy them coffee and sit and chat with them, but not about being homeless unless they bring it up. Just treat them like any other chance acquaintance, like a person. Don't ask them if they have found Jesus or try to fix their lives. One of the things you miss most when you are homeless is the small luxury soap that's not the cheapest, harshest stuff. Fruit that isn't hard, dry apples. Although usually I was glad to have any fruit or fresh veggies, a cold lemonade on a hot day, or a cup of rich hot chocolate on a cold one. All those little things most of us take for granted can seem like unattainable luxuries when you are just trying to scrape by for another day. I was homeless for a couple of months when I was 16. I had a bit of money and I was sleeping in an abandoned paint factory near where I used to live. Had moved across town since then, so my family wasn't close. I would mostly sit about all day waiting for my friends to get off school and hang out with them. We'd skate and stuff, smoke, drink cheap cider at weekends. I borrowed bits of money to eat and went to a friend's for tea a few times. It wasn't a nice time of my life. Living in the factory, which was always being used by older kids and adults for dodgy crap, was scary as heck. I wedged a table against the door so people couldn't get in where I slept, but I heard people trying a few times. It wasn't until a family friend saw me in the streets looking thin, dirty and sick that anyone knew I'd run away from home. They brought me in and helped me in the right direction. Fed me, talked to me, treated me like part of the family and found me a hostel to live in, even helped me get into college. I owe that person a lot. I was getting close to suicidal before they found me. I guess if you know someone who becomes homeless, you should try and help them however you can. Food, an ear, a shoulder, help with finding housing and work or education. A shower. It is so hard to get off the street when you can't shower. It is easy to get food. I had 3 places that gave me meals, but none that helped me get cleaned up. Money was always nice to get, but I never used it for anything to help me out. The nicest and most appreciated gift I ever got was a pair of shoes. It was Christmas Day and someone had stolen my shoes while I slept on Christmas Eve. It was so cold and I was at my lowest point in my life. Sometimes someone taking the time to talk to you can make the difference between feeling like crap and being totally despairing to feeling like life isn't that bad. I was homeless on a few occasions, and was technically homeless from the age of 15 until I was 20, then again on and off from 30-35. Don't assume anything about the person. Offer what help you can if you are feeling like you want to. When someone is cold and hungry, any help is appreciated. I think a big reason why people don't help homeless people is fear of them being crazy and harmful to us. From a lady's perspective, feminine hygiene products. I wish I would have had those instead of having to swipe a ton of TP from gas stations. A water bottle would have helped, too, for times I wasn't near a bathroom to clean up. Even if you don't give me money, please don't ignore me when I talk to you. It makes me feel more invisible than I already know I am. I was homeless in my teens for a half year or so. I was pretty good at getting everything I needed. Something just to show them they are still valuable. A smile and a hello used to really brighten my day. Once in college, my friend and I made a lot of big styrofoam cup ramen noodles. We tried to pass them out all through downtown Pittsburgh. Most people turned their noses up at it. Well, actually everyone did besides one guy. He was sitting in his box, and we gave him a cup. Being high college kids, we forgot a fork. This guy just said it's okay, thank you so much, and ate it with his fingers. We gave him all the cups we had, and a joint. I've done this a few times and the reaction is better than a 2-year-old at Christmas. Socks, junk food. I was a quiet guy who kept to himself. I never begged and I never bothered people. Sometimes people would just look at me and smile. I liked that. I had a job. I just couldn't get an apartment and had no friends where I was. So I slept outside and walked to work in the morning. I refused to sleep near where I worked. At least say hi, especially if the person says hi to you first. Most homeless people aren't as mentally ill as everyone assumes, although there are some that are all that crazy and then some. If you do give us something, don't make a big deal out of it. It is appreciated. But how would you feel if you already knew that someone had possibly saved your life by providing you something as basic as food or a blanket, and all you had to leverage was whatever remained of your pride? Just sit it down. Maybe throw out a "have a good day" or a "hope that helps" and go about your day. Don't assume that one factor alone pushed a person into homelessness, and don't assume that you know what it was. If a person tells you their story, great. In one case, yes, it might have been drugs or alcohol. In my case, it was an abusive ex that had my entire support system too scared of him to help me. I actually was never drunk or high the entire time I was homeless, because I had a child to care for and protect. So being judged as a druggie was a bit of a sore spot. Socks. When I was 17/18, there was a man who always stood in one place near Walmart. I suppose because I was young and didn't know better, I asked him to get in my car, drove him to McDonald's across the street for lunch. The dirty looks in MCD really pee me off. Then emptied my checking account at Walmart on socks, underwear, undershirts, soap, a hat, etc. He seemed slightly uncomfortable, but I just told him I have this much to spend. Get what you need. He was very concerned about his bag, of course, and I made sure to lock the car and try to get him to relax that I wasn't trying to pull something over on him. I saw an obituary several years later and I'm almost positive it was him. I'll never forget his name. Obviously it was really stupid to let him in my car, but I don't regret it. My mum is a GP who works in a walk-in center that is for homeless people, people with drug addictions, etc, and she said that, more so in the winter, her patients need hot drinks, food, blankets, and warm clothes, clean socks, scarves, hats. More and more supported housing is shutting all over the UK due to council cuts, and sleeping rough here is a death sentence in the winter. Give money, canned food, time, to your local homeless shelter or food bank. Their beds and showers are so important to homeless people, and they can't survive off the measly funding local councils give them. I was homeless for most of teenage years. In all honesty, the best thing I ever received was alcohol or cash, but I liked it more when people gave me things and didn't stick around for a reaction. If you wanna give something to a homeless person, don't make a big deal of it. Place it next to them and say this is for you, then walk away. Don't stick around waiting for praise or thanks. That's not why you're doing it. If you are only doing it to get praise, then don't do it at all. Currently about to become homeless. Couldn't afford our rent. It's slow season in our industry. We both work 2 jobs. I work 3 and go to school. My father, who lives with us, has terminal lung cancer and we take care of him financially. His benefits aren't enough. This is a very scary thing to be going through. So I just hope people are understanding, kind, and helpful for my dad. We've gone through days where we couldn't afford to eat and I was, for some reason, denied food stamps. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Edit, grammar. I was homeless for a brief part of my life. I worked as shop assistant. For some reasons my boss decided to abruptly close the shop and I was suddenly jobless. I could not longer pay for my room and immediately found myself on the street with nowhere to go and very little cash in hand. I survived couple of days renting a small cheap motel room near my old workplace while hopping from here to there looking for a job. But cash ran out fast. I couldn't afford the room for long. So I started sleep in front of this particular 7E because they have patio with small tables and chair. 24 hours open, thus safer. At first, came night, I just sat at the pavement near front. This one male staff started asking why I sat there every night. So I told him my story. He took pity on me and let me sit inside. They wouldn't let any people stay there unless you've bought something from the store to eat there. He chatted with me when there were no customer. It's night shift anyway, so less people. He offered me free buns and coffee, cigs, and never once belittle or judge me. We just sat there all night chatting about everything and laughing and smoking. This little act of kindness was all I needed to help me go through the hard weeks later. Though insignificant, but meant a lot to me. Basically, treat homeless the way you want people treat you, with dignity and respect. They're humans too. Talk with them. Ask them nicely what you can help. Food is always good. Sometimes cash is better. If you smoke, always offer cigs to them. Never mind what kind of cigs. It's highly appreciated. Lastly, do not tell me what I should do with the money you gave me. It's totally unneeded and arrogant for you to say so. And never expect praise. Edit. Apologize for grammar errors here and there. English is not my native tongue. Cure my mental health issues. Although I was able to find help for my problems and earn myself into a decent home, most of my friends who I met on the street are still there. So many of us have mental health issues, with nowhere to turn for help. Google local homeless outreach resources and contact info for your local veteran services center. Call these places and make sure they are still running, have funding. Ask what kind of services they offer. Print out several copies of these contact numbers. Keep them in your car on your person to hand out to homeless people panhandlers. 5 minutes of effort doing this could mean that somebody gets stable housing out of it. I know that I got a homeless guy a free apartment through Catholic Social Services by putting him in touch with them. He'd previously been sleeping in a truck. I work at a center that doesn't deal specifically with homeless people, but we have a lot that come in. These are the things they talk about the most. 1. Look them in the eye and smile. A lot of people assume they're going to ask for something if they look at them, but some of them haven't been looked at in days, months, even years. Even if they are asking for money, food, help, etc. Give them the benefit of the doubt and look them in the eyes if you have to say number. 2. Listen. If you have a second and they seem like they're into it, let them talk. Sometimes they'll tell you their story or a story. Sometimes they just ramble on endlessly about something you don't care about. It's kind of like talking to an elderly relative who lives alone, but the fact is, just like your relative, they haven't been heard in a very long time. If you have the time, just let them talk. 3. Remember that they're people. Some have issues with drugs, some have suffered abuse, some unfortunately ended up on the street. Whatever the reason, they're still a person. It's hard not to lump everyone together. Not all homeless people are good, but they aren't all scum trying to scam you either. You may have been burned and overbegged, but don't let that turn your heart black. You still have every right to say no. You still don't have to give a dime. But I can't imagine how I could get back on my feet if I didn't even feel like a real person. When I was homeless, there was a manager at CISIS who knew I wouldn't ask for food or accept it if I didn't work for it, so he would let me into the back to do dishes after I was done eating. Nobody ever knew I was homeless except my so at the time. A lot of days that food was all I was able to have. TLDR. Dignity. You have been visited by the fashion doggo comment. Your envy strengthens me, so you always look beautiful. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check out another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.